Hi, Denise Butchko. I'm here today with Christian Smedberg. How are you, Christian?
Hey, everybody. Hi, Denise. Doing good?
Good. We want to talk with you today about a couple of ways to seriously make your marketing life easier. They're two pretty essential processes or tools. And Christian, let's talk about this
Yeah.
idea.
So these ideas revolve around documentation. Coming from a manufacturing background, myself and many of you out there are very familiar with SOPs and documenting work instructions. Well, it works on the shop floor. It also works in the office. So when it comes to marketing, document, and document so that it makes your life easier.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a real life example because so we record these videos, which all has to be systematized. My email marketing, same thing. I have to keep track. And so right now I'm in the process because it's getting to be so much I'm starting with the very basic, like, hey, piece of paper, different segments on my email marketing list. So I have those, what the messages that I've sent, what date. And so that what I'm going to do is that I'm working with someone who helps me with social media, and we will set that up so that it's a spreadsheet and it can be easy and I can go in and track it, and even as I'm recording these, I have to keep track of the names and then where that goes and where it's up. So then the steps, like another one that I have is actually, the steps, and it's shooting and naming the video, writing the blurb, posting it to YouTube, posting it on the CYB blog, edit the text, create an Aweber piece, post it on social media. So it all goes hand in hand so that it can just be check, check, check. An idea from my end is then once I've got that organized, I have to give the direction to it, but then somebody else, I can hire somebody to do that for me.
Right.
Instead of
right.
me.
Yeah.
So I create it, and then somebody at a much more affordable price does the other part.
Absolutely. So that makes marketing easier right there. So by documenting your strategies, by documenting your actual processes, you can hand it off to maybe a lower level staffer.
A freelancer in my case.
To implement, right? Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
I would say also that the second way it makes it easier for you would be if you're doing it, you're not having to recreate the wheel every time.
100%.
So, for example, marketing content distribution. This is something that many of us don't even think about documenting, because if you do it all the time, you don't think twice about it. But if you don't, it is actually something that scares you away from even creating content in the first place. So if you or your team is good at content creation, such as making blog posts, taking pictures, writing out press releases, those types of things, but you don't have documented content distribution procedures in place, you're trying to figure out what to do with that content every time you create it. Yes. So you write this press release, and then who do you send it to? If it's not documented, you're trying to think up, who did I send it to last time? And if you write out a blog post, or you want to put your press release on your blog, are you trying to figure out how to get into the back end of your blog to post it every time? Or do you have work instructions written out so that if you forget, what URL to go to, or what buttons to press, or how to add a feature image to that blog post, you have instructions right there, and you're not spending 30 minutes trying to figure it out every time.
Yeah. And I actually really like doing a screen recording of it as I'm giving instructions to somebody, and then asking them to put it into words, because for one, then they get all my intonation and make sure that we're clear on what the steps are. And then by them putting it into a written procedure, we know that we both understand what's going on with it. And then I have it for future use, whether it's me doing it or somebody else doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have all that documented, then I know that, as those boxes are checked, they posted it on YouTube this date and they posted it here, and et cetera, then I can easily go into the spreadsheet and track that.
And isn't it interesting? You bring up a really good point, is this idea of a checklist. Building that checklist into your marketing SOP also makes it so that you don't forget to put your content somewhere. If you make a video, you have to put it on YouTube. You have to put it maybe on your website. You have to send it to this directory or to this association. But if you're in a rush, maybe you forget one of those things. And if you have it documented, then you go down the list and you don't forget anything.
Yes, exactly. And for people who aren't as much in manufacturing, give them a definition of SOP.
Yeah, and SOP just stands for a standard operating procedure.
Very good.
That's all it is. It's plain and simple. You can take it to a very complex extreme, or you can keep it as just a handwritten note. It's totally up to you.
And I want to share one more thing that I think everybody should start with and have a discussion with, either whether this is in-house. If it's in-house, you have a team discussion about it. If it's just you as a entrepreneur, then you have to really put a little more thought into it. But it's a working document for social media guidelines. So what I have here, if say Gabe, who helps me now, ends up moving on to something else, I have a sense of, I'm providing what tone, kind of what my voice is like. If I hired someone and they suddenly started writing very formal posts,
right,
that's not going to work. So I want them to be able to, I want it to feel as close to the brand identity as I want it to be. And I think that's important even as you're hiring a freelancer or bringing someone on staff. You have to give them that direction, and you need to know that direction so you can determine if it's consistent or not. And I mean, I even give them, here are, companies that we want to make sure and follow. Mm-hmm. We want to tag, if I'm creating videos or pieces of content that involve them or mention them, we want to mention them as much as possible and tag them so that you get more coverage and they know that you're actually talking about them. And it's absolutely a work in progress document. As things come up, we add to it, but it's there as a baseline. And I think that's super important.
Absolutely. And it's documented. Like you said, if anyone comes in later, or if you take a break for a period of time and then come back to it, it's all documented. It's all right there.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, documentation is important, not just for, making things, but also for marketing.
Yep. Cool.
All right.
With you. Thanks, Christian.
Right. You got it, Denise. Talk to you later.